So I was actually gonna wait a little bit longer before doing this video. I mean, I just did part 2 like a month ago and figured maybe I should leave more time open before the next one. But then I started catching up on some newer episodes of Riverdale, and what the heck is this show even trying to be anymore? Is this real life? How is this a real show on TV? Like, I can't even think of the words to say right now. I don't even know if this video is gonna be all that funny because, I mean, I'm just utterly baffled. First, let's talk about the main plot point or whatever shtick MacGuffin thing of the show, which is, of course, the Black Hood. Spoilers if you're not caught up yet, but I mean, let's be honest here. Are you really missing anything at this point? So throughout the show, the Black Hood's been causing a lot of trouble for everyone, especially Betty. We're taking down this weird, like, Silence of the Lambs, Stephen King wannabe kind of thing where, like, the Black Hood's, like, cutting off people's fingers and mailing them around town. He's calling people's cell phones or whatever, and ultimately, it's revealed that the Black Hood is, allegedly, Mr. Svensson. What's that? Who's Mr. Svensson, you ask? Exactly! A character they introduce halfway through the season that maybe says like 2 sentences the entire show turns out to maybe sort of kind of be the Black Hood, and I'm supposed to care why? I mean, we learn a little bit about his backstory, but we know nothing about him as a person. We know that he's the janitor at the school, the end. And how the whole like Black Hood reveal thing goes down is maybe one of the sloppiest things I've ever seen since maybe ever. In like the last 5 minutes of episode 9, Archie and Betty learn that Mr. Svensson's family was murdered when he was younger, and he may have put the blame on the wrong guy, which led to a group of people publicly executing this guy in the park.
After his family was massacred, young Conway, young Svensson, identified the man responsible. Then a small group of Riverdale citizens took matters into their own hands and, well, executed him.
Now, can I just say here, I mean, okay, Riverdale's been trying to tackle some heavy subject matter here and there, I get it, but this show takes some weird 180s just like out of nowhere. Anyway, so 30 seconds later, we learn that Cheryl's really weird grandma, or whatever she is, was part of this group. And 15 seconds later, we learn that Betty's grandfather was also part of the same group, and that Betty might have a picture of him standing in the spot where they buried the guy, who may or may not have been the right guy in the first place. Now, Betty finds the exact picture like 3 minutes later, and knows exactly where it was taken and how to get there.
Wait, is this it?
Betty, look at the ground. That's where they buried the preacher.
Yeah, look at the branches. The devil's hand.
That tree is in Pickens Park.
Huh. She and Archie rush to the park, but not before we see maybe the most bizarre scene in the history of TV.
Archie, my grandfather killed a man in cold blood, an innocent man. What if that's why he picked me, the Black Hood?
This is the part where we end this. I can't do this alone. Tomorrow we're gonna wake up and everything is gonna go back to how it was. But right now, I need you with me. I need Betty Cooper.
George.
What is even happening here? Who would ever do this? Hey, I know where the murderer is. Awesome. You want to make out? Okay. Really? I mean, I get the whole like teenagers and their hormones type of thing, but like what the heck is this even supposed to be? Anyway, they get to the park and find a freshly dug grave, and we're all just supposed to accept that during the several hours it must have taken to set all this up, no one in the whole town saw someone digging a grave in the public park and thought, this might not be normal. The Black Hood shows up. Betty hits him with a shovel. They chase him down and he gets shot and killed by the sheriff. And we learn that the Black Hood, or at least this Black Hood, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I'm saying, kids, was Mr. Svensson.
He's dead.
Who is he?
The town demanded blood for blood.
This is the whole payoff after 9 episodes of this. Every piece of the Black Hood puzzle we've gotten up to now is completely pointless because all the important information is given to us in like the last 5 minutes. Now, you see, here's a really clear example of why season 1, I think, was so much better than season 2. Season 1 also had a murder story, but it was the entire focus of the plot of the show. We were given every important character pretty much from the beginning, and we got to know everyone involved rather well. So when it was revealed that the guy who killed Cheryl's brother was actually her own dad, it it was a pretty big deal. Like, we knew this guy. We had some sympathy for him, maybe sorta kinda. Now in season 2, we're supposed to care about this janitor that we know nothing about. But I'll tell you right now, this is not even the worst of it. Season 1 characters were goofy and cheesy and like whatever, but they were consistent. But now, I don't know why or how this is happening, but everyone is like completely schizophrenic. They do things in one scene and then in the next scene, they're a completely different character. Let's take Jughead, for example. Throughout all of season 1 and most of season 2, he's against being involved with the Serpents. Then he joins them for the greater good or whatever, and still wants to keep all the gang culture garbage at arm's length. When Betty decides that she wants to join the Serpents too, so she can be with Jughead, she even puts on this like striptease show thing to join them, but Jughead is just not having it.
Why would you do that?
I wanted to be a part of this. The Serpents, your world.
Why?
It's gonna be okay. We'll figure out what we have to do together.
No, Betty. Not together. If you stay, I don't know if I can protect you anymore.
It's not your decision to make.
Actually, yeah, it is.
I mean, okay, she learned how to do this whole dance number in like 10 minutes or whatever, but more than that, Betty goes through all this, and Jughead's just like, nah. And then in like the very next episode, Jughead's like, no one disrespects the Serpents. Like, what? What do you even want, Jughead? Jughead's supposed to be the guy who's always like, all right, guys, we need to think this through rationally. I know everything, okay? I'm writing a book. And then he goes and cuts off someone's tattoo right off their arm. Like, what the yuck? Are you the Black Hood, Jughead? Because this is some next level stuff right here. Then we have Veronica. 1 minute, she's hanging mistletoe on Archie's roof being just a cute little girl and all that garbage.
Now we have no choice but to kiss.
And then the next minute, she's drinking whiskey with her parents, plotting some kind of shady business deal that of course we can't know about yet, because how else are you gonna drag the show out for 10 more episodes?
Well, Veronica, now you know. You know everything.
So, Mia, what do you think?
I'm in, but I have ground rules. Well, one ground rule. I refuse to do anything illegal.
Well, that's fine. Especially since we're not doing anything illegal either.
I mean, what is this, Mad Men now? In a similar, but I guess completely opposite way, you have Cheryl. Really, if you get down to it, Cheryl's the only character that's really had like substantial life-changing things happen to her. I mean, other characters, sure, they have like ups and downs and all that, but Cheryl's life has been completely turned upside down. She lost her brother, lost her dad, lost her house, she tried to drown herself, but was saved by Archie and friends, and yet, she still acts exactly the same as she did in season 1. You see, back in season 1, it made sense for her to be like rude and selfish and all that, because in her mind, everyone was a suspect. But now, after everything's more or less kind of settled, she still treats everyone like garbage and is still incredibly selfish across the board. Starting out season 2, there was this wide open space for a potential like redemption story, trying to befriend everyone again, or her and her mom getting close together, like that kind of thing. But instead, Cheryl just gets put in the back seat and does absolutely nothing. It's like all of season 1 just never happened. But you know, I think the real issue, if I could just be a little serious for a second. Okay, so season 1 was 13 episodes long, which is pretty standard now in the world of like binging Netflix and all that stuff, right? So 13 episodes, we had to learn all about the characters, the town, and go through the murder mystery. This made the story feel a lot more focused and digestible. But season 2 is 22 episodes, and we don't really have anything else to learn about the main characters, like not really. I mean, sure, we're introduced to people like Veronica's dad or whatever, but that's about it. So not only do we have more episodes, but also we have a lot more empty time to fill in each episode, which means everything gets stretched out as long as possible. We have the Black Hood plotline, Veronica's dad's plotline, Cheryl might be a lesbian plotline. Where's this coming from? I have no idea. I mean, hey, more power to you, but like, what? Jughead and the Serpents plotline, Jughead and Penny plotline, Jughead's dad's plotline, Benny's sister's plotline, Benny's brother's plotline, Betty's mom's plotline, Kevin's plotline. I mean, this show is all over the place. It's like the writers of the show watched half of the first season of Lost and they were just like, hey man, check it. What if Riverdale also didn't make any sense? Right on, man. Just as long as we throw in a random musical number every episode, no one's gonna even care. Sweet, dude. I mean, nothing really makes sense or connects together in any way. Like, things are just kind of happening sequentially. I guess basically there's just no focus anymore. You know, I get these messages from people once in a while where they're like, why do you talk about teen dramas if you hate them so much? If you hate teen dramas, why are you making all these videos? That kind of thing. I think I don't hate teen dramas at all. I actually, like, as a concept, I really like teen dramas. Just because something is meant for teens doesn't mean it needs to be like dumb, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because it's like, I mean, teenagers aren't dumb, but a lot of the media that's aimed at teenagers is kind of dumb. You know, and so my point is like teen dramas could be really great. I mean, there are some good examples, like, you know, Hunger Games I think is a very good example. Or even like season 1 of Riverdale. Season 1 was cheesy, but it wasn't dumb. Like storytelling wise, it had a focus, it had a mission, it had like a story to tell, and it told it, and it was cohesive and made sense. It was actually quite well done. Season 2 is a mess. And so the point of me, you know, talking about Riverdale or any of these teen dramas is not just to make fun of it. It's really just to be like, this could be a lot better. And here's some examples of just these weird oversights that are just bizarre. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. New shirts, new sweatshirts, women's shirts, hoodies, all that stuff is in the store now. So if you're interested, please check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, tweet me. I try to respond to everything I get, so don't be afraid. Send me a DM, send me a tweet or whatever. Perfectly fine. I enjoy it. I'll follow my dog, Charlie, on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. And above all else, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all next time.